Space was dark, cold, silent. Commander Rylan opened his eyes slowly. Everything around him was quiet. Too quiet. His helmet was cracked on one side. A soft red light blinked on the control panel above him. That light had been blinking for hours. Now. Maybe days. He had lost track of time. He was alone. His spaceship, the Vanguard 6, was badly damaged. Wires hung from the ceiling. Sparks flew from the main console. The ship's engine had shut down completely. The heating system no longer worked. Cold air bit into Ryland's skin, even through his suit. He tried to move his arm, but it felt heavy. Everything did. He looked around the room. Empty seats, broken glass, blood on the floor. His team was gone. Gone into space. Gone from his life. They had left him behind. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't an accident. It was a choice. Ryland remembered the moment. The attack came fast. A strange energy wave hit the ship. Systems started failing. Lights went out. People screamed. The mission had gone from calm to chaos in less than 5 minutes. He had stayed behind to buy time, to fix the signal, to protect the others. He told them to go. "I'll catch up," he said. "Just a few minutes." But when he got back to the launch bay, it was empty. No escape pods. No voices. Just silence. He shouted. No one answered. They had launched without him. His hands shook as he reached for the controls. He had tried to restart the engines, tried to send a signal, tried to stay alive. Nothing worked. That was 5 days ago. Maybe 6. Now the food was almost gone. Water, too. Oxygen? Only a few hours left. The only thing that still worked was the weak SOS signal blinking in the dark. But no one had answered. Ryland leaned back in his chair. He looked at the stars through the broken window. Beautiful, but deadly. The stars didn't care who you were. Commander or not. Hero or not. Alone in space, you were just dust. He thought of Earth, of blue skies and warm sunlight. He thought of his little brother, Jake, who always wanted to fly. He thought of his mother's voice, of old songs and real food, things that felt a million miles away. Ryland smiled sadly. "This is how it ends," he whispered, floating in the dark, forgotten. But deep inside, a part of him didn't want to give up. A small fire still burned. He was human, and humans don't quit so easily. He turned on his voice recorder. His hand was slow, almost frozen, but he managed to press the button. "This is Commander Ryland Jex," he said, voice cracking. "Ship Vanguard 6, lost in Sector 7B. If anyone hears this, I'm still here, I'm still fighting." He paused. "If I don't make it, tell Earth I tried. I didn't run. I stayed. I stayed because someone had to." He let go of the recorder and closed his eyes. A single tear floated up into the air, shining like a tiny star. He was tired. So tired. Suddenly, the red light on the console changed. It blinked faster now. Ryland opened one eye. He frowned. That wasn't normal. Then, a sound. Just one. A soft beep, then another. The radar screen turned on by itself. A signal was coming through. It was faint, broken, but it was there. Human code. Ryland sat up fast, his heart racing. He tapped the screen. "Repeat! Unknown ship. Respond. Respond," the broken message said. He blinked in shock. Was this real? Was someone actually out there? His fingers shook as he tried to send a reply. The screen flickered. Power was low. He tried again. Nothing. "Come on," he whispered. The screen stayed black. But the signal. It was still there. A human ship was nearby. Maybe someone had heard his call. Maybe he wasn't forgotten after all. The radar signal was still weak, but it was real. Commander Rylan kept staring at the screen. His heart beat faster, but even as hope grew, a dark memory returned. One that refused to leave him alone. The moment they left him. 6 days earlier, just before the silence, the ship was shaking. Red lights flashed everywhere, explosions echoed in the distance. The unknown energy wave had come out of nowhere. It hit them like a punch from the gods. Rylan had stayed calm. He always stayed calm. "Power's down," someone shouted. "Shields offline. Engine 2 is gone. Emergency pods, get them ready." The crew scrambled. People were falling, running, screaming. Rylan didn't move. He grabbed the side panel and pulled open the main fuse box. "Go!" he told the others. "Get to the escape pods. I'll..." "Restart the comm system manually." Lieutenant Dara hesitated. "Sir, we don't have time. You won't make it back." "I'll make it," he said, locking eyes with her. "Just hold them back for 2 minutes. 2. Then he turned and ran toward the damaged section. He didn't see her face after that. 30 minutes later, Rylan stood in the control room. His hands were burned. His face was covered in dust and sweat. But the emergency comms were working again. Weak, but working. He limped toward the pod bay, expecting to see them waiting, but it was empty. No voices, no footsteps, no faces. Just the sound of metal creaking. He ran forward. "Dara! Jackson? Anyone?" Nothing. Then he saw the message. "We're sorry. We waited as long as we could. You told us to go. You said 2 minutes, but it's been 30. The ship won't last. I hope you forgive us. Someday." Rylan's mouth went dry. They hadn't been attacked again. The ship hadn't been destroyed. No. They had made the choice. They had left him behind. He dropped to his knees. They thought he was dead. Or maybe they just didn't want to die trying to save him, his crew, his team, his people. Gone. Back in the present, Rylan clenched his fists. He wanted to hate them, but deep down, he understood. Fear. Space doesn't forgive mistakes. One wrong move and everyone dies. They had chosen to live, chosen to leave their commander, but still. It broke something inside him. He looked at the radar again. That new signal. Human. Could it be them? Had they come back, or was it someone else entirely? Meanwhile, unknown ship, 50,000 km away. The ship was small, silent, and fast. A black stealth, cruiser marked with faded Earth Navy colors. Inside, a woman stared at a screen. "Are you sure it's him?" asked the pilot. She nodded. "Same distress code, same sector. No one else is supposed to be out here." "After 6 days? No way. He's alive." "We're going to find out." The woman tapped the console. Her voice was calm, but filled with emotion. "This is Rescue Ship Echo 7 to Vanguard 6. Commander Rylan, if you're alive, respond now." Back on Rylan's ship, the message came through the static. He froze. It was her voice. "Dara!" The voice echoed in the silent cabin. "Commander Rylan, if you're alive, respond now." It was her. Dara. Rylan's eyes widened. He leaned forward and tapped the control panel. Nothing. The system was dead. The transmitter was burned out. His voice couldn't reach her. He banged his fist on the console. "I'm here! I'm still here!" he shouted into the silence. No answer. He watched the radar. The human signal moved closer, but very slowly. It looked like they were scanning the area. Searching carefully, they didn't know he was still alive. Inside the rescue ship, Echo 7 Dara stared at the radar screen. "No reply," said the pilot. She didn't blink. "He's alive. I know it. We need to be careful. This area. It's not safe." "I remember," she said, her voice cold. "We were attacked here." She looked out at the stars. "And if that thing is still out there, it'll come, Again, the pilot frowned. We have 6 hours of fuel. If we don't find him, we will. She typed something into the console. Start deep scan. Full spectrum. Back on Ryland's ship. The lights flickered. A low hum vibrated through the walls. He froze. That sound. He remembered it. It came just before the attack last time, when they were hit by the energy wave. He ran to the side window. Out there, past the stars, something glowed. A pulsing blue, light, far away, but moving, slowly, toward him. Ryland's heart sank. No, not now. He reached under his chair and pulled out a small emergency battery. It had only 10% power, just enough to power one system. He looked at the broken transmitter, then back at the radar. He made a choice. Ryland plugged the battery into the signal beacon. It lit up, barely. He typed one sentence. Alive! Hurry! It's coming back! The light blinked. Once, twice, then faded. He didn't know if it went through. Inside Echo 7A, loud beep interrupted the scan. Signal, the pilot yelled. Short burst, just one line. Dara leaned in. Alive! Hurry! It's coming back! She stood up. He's still breathing, and it's still out there. Should we abort? She looked at the pilot. No, we go in now. They pushed the ship forward, engines on full thrust. Keep an eye on the scanners, she said. That thing's not human. Meanwhile, in the dark far away, in the cold of space, something stirred. A machine. Alien. It had no face, no emotion. Only one purpose. Eliminate survivors. It picked up Ryland's weak signal. It changed course, heading straight for him. Back on Ryland's ship, the floor shook slightly. He didn't need a camera to know. The enemy was close. He grabbed his suit helmet and locked it on. His oxygen was down to 12 minutes. If he stayed inside the ship, he'd be trapped. If he went outside, he'd freeze. But if the rescue ship saw him, he took a deep breath and opened the emergency hatch. Cold wind slammed into him like a wave. His body screamed in pain, but he climbed onto the outer hull and activated his emergency beacon. One last time, a small red light blinked from his shoulder. Come on. See me? Echo 7, final approach. There, shouted the pilot. I see a blinking light on the ship's hull. Dara leaned forward. It's him, she whispered. Then the radar screamed. Unknown object incoming. Fast! The pilot's face went pale. Same energy pattern as before? Dara clenched her jaw. Get us in range. I'll bring him in. You hold that thing off. What? We can't fight it. Then stall it. Just 2 minutes. Commander Ryland stood on the outside of the broken ship, gripping a damaged rail with frozen fingers. His emergency beacon blinked weakly on his shoulder. Below him, a silent blackness, endless and cold. Above him, stars. And somewhere, hope. Then he saw it. A ship. Small, fast, human, coming straight toward him like a shooting star. He smiled. They came back. But his smile faded quickly. Behind that ship, something else moved. A shadow, growing larger. Faster. It wasn't human. It wasn't even alive. Inside, the Echo 7 Dara's voice was sharp. Hold the ship steady. The pilot struggled with the controls. That thing's gaining on us. I can see Ryland. He's standing on the hull. I'm going out. Dara. It's suicide. The airlock. We don't leave our people behind, she said. Not again. She grabbed her helmet and ran to the bay. The enemy draws closer. It was a black shape with no clear form. Like a machine built from shadows and lightning. It didn't fly like a ship. It moved like a living thing, faster than Echo 7. No lights, no sound. Just a blue glow pulsing from its core. It locked onto its target, Ryland, back on Ryland's wrecked ship. He saw it now, the enemy machine, the same kind that had attacked Vanguard 6 before. He remembered the energy wave, how it shut down their ship, killed his team, and now it was coming back to finish him. "Not today," he whispered. Then a new light appeared. The side bay door of the rescue ship opened, and Dara stepped out. Wearing a tether and suit, she launched herself across the gap between the ships. Her arms reached for him. Rylan pushed. Off the hull, floating toward her. Mid-space rescue. No gravity, no time. The vacuum pulled at them. Their suits slowed their movement. "Got you," Dara shouted as she caught his arm. He grabbed her tight. Their tethers pulled them back to Echo 7. But behind them, the enemy closed in. Inside Echo 7's cockpit. "Come on, come on," the pilot muttered, watching them float closer. Radar screamed, "Impact." In 90 seconds, he armed the defensive turrets. "I can't stop it, but I can slow it down." He aimed and fired. Small missiles shot toward the shadow machine. They hit and did nothing. The thing didn't even slow down. Dara and Rylan reached the airlock. The door opened. The two humans tumbled inside, gasping for breath. Dara pulled off her helmet. "You're heavier than I remember." Rylan grinned. "You didn't. Leave this time." "No," she said softly. "I didn't." Alarms blared. The pilot's voice came through the speaker. "We've got 60 seconds. That thing's not stopping." The enemy attacks. The alien craft unleashed a wave of blue energy. It hit the wreck of Vanguard 6, tearing it apart. Then it turned toward Echo 7. Inside the rescue ship, everything shook. "Engines on full. Get us out of here," Dara shouted. "We'll never outrun it," the pilot yelled back. "Not unless—" Rylan stepped forward. "I know how it thinks," he said. "I've seen it before." He pulled out a small drive chip from his suit. "I copied part of its signal code, just before the last attack." Dara looked at him. "What are you saying?" "I can send it a fake signal. Trick it. But you have to open the comms relay. You'll have 30 seconds. That's enough. Final." Gamble Rylan plugged the chip into the console. He typed fast. His hands shook. The alien ship locked onto Echo 7. It charged for a final strike. "Now!" Rylan yelled. The ship sent out a fake signal, a mimic of the alien frequency. For a moment, everything stopped. The enemy slowed. It turned and vanished into the dark. Gone. Silence returned. Everyone stared at the radar. No signal, no threat, only space. Rylan let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. Dara looked at him. "You really are hard to kill," he smiled. "Takes more than betrayal and aliens to stop me." Echo 7 turned toward Earth. Home was far, but hope was closer now. As the stars moved around them, the pilot whispered, "We're not alone out here anymore, and they know it too." Earth. Military base, orbit station. Gamma Commander Rylan stood inside a debriefing room. Everything felt too clean, too calm, too quiet. After a week lost in space, after being left behind, after escaping death twice, Earth felt like a dream, but not a peaceful one. Dara sat beside him, silent. Across the table, a group of military officers watched them. One of them, General Roth, leaned forward. "So you're telling me an unknown machine life form attacked. Your ship killed half your crew and chased your rescue team across a dead sector?" "Yes," Rylan answered, "and it's still out there." The general narrowed his eyes. "Why didn't you report this before your mission failed?" Rylan's jaw tightened. "We didn't know what it was, and we were ordered not to speak. About the rumors. That made the room go quiet." Flashback. 1 year ago, in a dark briefing room, Rylan and several other captains were shown strange signals. Energy waves from deep space. Unnatural, unexplained. They were told to stay silent. "This is not a public concern. The people don't need panic. You will observe, report, and forget." Rylan had nodded like the others, but now, forgetting wasn't an option. Present, orbit station. Gamma General Roth looked angry. Your ship was destroyed. Your team went off course. You brought back classified data without clearance, and you caused panic in the Outer Defense Command. Rylan stayed calm. I brought back proof. He placed the small black chip, the one he had used to mimic the alien signal, on the table. This thing learns. It hunts. It mimics our tech. The room went cold. Later, in a hospital bay, Dara sat beside Rylan's bed. He was still healing. Burns, frostbite, oxygen damage, but he'd survive. He looked at her. Thanks for coming back, she smiled. You would have done the same. He was quiet for a moment. Then he asked, Why did you really leave that day? She looked down. I wanted to stay, but the others panicked, and the higher-ups had sent silent orders. Abort if mission fails. No rescues, no second chances. Rylan nodded slowly, so it was never just fear. It was policy. They wrote me off, he said. They wrote all of us off, she whispered. Elsewhere. Secret briefing room. Earth General Roth met with two unknown figures, their faces hidden in holograms. He survived, Roth said, and now half the fleet knows about the anomaly. One voice replied, You were supposed to keep this quiet. Roth frowned. He brought back data. If we bury it now, it'll leak. The second voice replied, Then we use him. Back at the orbit station, that night, Rylan woke up to a private message. It simply said, You were never the only one left behind. And below that, a location, a deep space sector, one he had never heard of. The next morning, Rylan meets Dara. He showed her the message. She read it twice. You think it's real? Rylan looked her in the eyes. If someone else is still out there, we're going to find them. Meanwhile, far away in deep space, in the cold void, deep beyond known charts, something moved. A wrecked ship floated in silence. Inside it, a human heartbeat flickered, faint, frozen. Eyes opened. Is someone there? And in the darkness, a familiar blue light answered. 1 week later, Earth orbit. Dock Commander Rylan stood in front of a small, unmarked ship. No insignia, no flight plan, no backup. Beside him, Dara checked the fuel levels. Still time to back out. Rylan shook his head. They lied to us, again, and if someone else was left behind, like I was, I can't leave them. She didn't argue. She handed him a data card. New maps, off-grid sectors, hidden paths. He looked at her. You're not coming? Dara smiled. I'll cover from inside. If command finds out, you're AWOL. But I still have access. He nodded. Then let's find the truth. Deep space. Days later, the ship floated into a dead zone. No satellites, no comms, no rescue. Rylan activated long-range scans. There, a weak signal, hidden under layers of noise, almost impossible to catch. Echo. Still here. The voice was human. Barely. He turned the ship toward it. Meanwhile, Earth Command General Roth slammed his fist on the table. He went rogue. A tech officer replied, and someone gave him maps, someone inside. Roth stared at the screen. The ship's last ping showed it entering Sector 12 Gamma, restricted space. Activate Ghost Protocol, Roth ordered. If he finds it, he can't come back. Back in space, Rylan's ship Rylan reached the edge of a broken asteroid field. Beyond it, a derelict station. Not human, black metal, alien design, but with Earth markings scratched onto its side. What the hell is this? He docked carefully. Inside, gravity was weak. Lights flickered. Human bodies floated, some still in cryo-sleep. Then, movement. Someone stumbled out of a cryopod, gasping. Are you human? The voice asked. Rylan grabbed the figure, a young officer, pale and shivering. "Yes, you're safe now." But the man shook his head. "No, we're not. It's still here." Suddenly, lights died. The station shuddered. Metal groaned. Something woke up in the dark. A sound like metal breathing filled the hall. Rylan pulled out a pistol. "Move!" They ran through broken corridors, past old battle damage. Then he saw it, a pod. Alien. Half-organic. Pulsing. Inside, something was growing. Not dead. Not asleep. Learning. Back on Earth. Dara's quarters. Her screen flashed. Unauthorized access detected. Project Echo lockdown breached. She froze. Echo? She remembered that name. A canceled program. Buried. Erased from all. Records. She opened the files. Human test subjects. Survivors of alien attacks. Left in deep space. For study. Rylan wasn't just rescuing a lost soul. He was about to uncover Earth's biggest secret. Back on the station, the survivor whispered, "We were bait. Earth left us here to see if they'd come back." Rylan clenched his jaw. "They used you?" "Not just us," the man said. "Others. Whole crews, lost by accident." Suddenly, the walls shook again. The alien pod cracked open. Limb reached out, sharp, metal, wet. Rylan fired. "Run!" The final escape. Rylan dragged the survivor through a side tunnel. Low Earth orbit, black sky approaches. Rylan sat in the cockpit. The Earth filled the window, beautiful and silent. Behind him, a rescued survivor resting in the med bay. In front of him, 2 Earth defense ships, armed, waiting. A warning came through. The radio. "Unidentified vessel, turn back immediately. You are carrying restricted material." Rylan didn't answer. He had sent the files. He had sent the proof. Now the world knew. Back on Earth, Dara's mission Dara burst into the command center with a stolen access card. She pushed past guards and slammed a drive onto the briefing table. "Play it," she said. The screen lit up with Rylan's footage, the alien station, the pod, the survivor's testimony, and Earth's abandoned experiment, Project Echo. Silence fell over the room. Even General Roth looked shaken. "We told the world they were lost," Dara said, "but we used them. Up in orbit. The defense ships locked weapons. Rylan stood at the controls, calm, unmoving. A voice came through. Someone new. A civilian broadcast. Open frequency. To the people of Earth. I am Commander Rylan Voss, a soldier, a survivor, left to die, and I'm not the only one. You were lied to. But I brought one of us home, and I will bring back the rest, or I'll die trying." Earth goes silent. Social feeds exploded. People listened. People believed. One voice became many. "We don't leave our own Echo survivors. Rylan is right." The turning point, the order to fire, was ready. General Roth stared at the screen. Then, he gave no order. He stood up, walked away. For the first time, the system was silent. No missiles were launched. The landing Rylan ship touched down on the edge of a defense base. Guards surrounded it, but they didn't raise weapons. Instead, they saluted. Dara waited at the ramp. Rylan stepped out, tired, but alive. She smiled. "You made it?" He nodded. Not alone. Behind him, the rescued survivor stepped into Earth's air for the first time in years. 1 week later, public, memorial. The world watched. Photos of the lost officers appeared on giant screens. "These were not accidents," the speaker said. "They were abandoned, used, forgotten. A new fleet was announced, a new mission, Operation Homefire. Its purpose? Bring them home, all of them." Final scene, deep space, somewhere unknown. Human distress signal echoed. Soft, weak, fading. Then, a response. "This is Rylan Voss of Earth. We heard you. We're coming." The stars blinked, and hope moved between them once again. End of Part 7, and end of series optional epilogue, sequel hook, if you want future parts. As the broadcast ends, a mysterious voice whispers from deep space, "The humans remember, now, so will we."